if you are a person that plays the game pause, you're gonna be hitting pause a lot in this episode
because Dre loves him some copious amounts of man meat.
I mean, when you get Otis, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, that's a whole lot of man meat.
No pukesters helping me to the left, and no pukesters helping me to the right. Didn't need them then, don't need them now.
You are the ex-champion of it.
Now this is the way, Tony and David, that you do the figure 4 leg lock.
Hey, yo, my mama, my sister, my brother, and my... That's how they always started. And they always shake their head. All right.
That's old school Shaq. That's old school Shaq.
Yo, one of the dopest albums, man. So what's up? What up, Shaq? Or what up, Five? Shit, I'm over here, yo, Shaq. Where you at? I'm over here, yo, Shaq. Him and Five, like Shaq's one of the only guys that says that he has real songs with Biggie, no made up ish.
Yeah,
Five. You know what I mean?
And he's on the new Coyotes, the Coyote album. If Shaq, I brought up Shaq because he's going to be in our throwback match later. Shaq can still spit, and if you're a hip hop fan and you're not familiar with Coyote, check out that album because it is fire.
Yeah, I love Shaq. I've always been, and not, I mean, I'm gonna listen to what you said, but some of his latest stuff I was not a fan of. Not at all.
This is hard.
Okay,
very hard. You haven't listened to the album yet that I sent you? I sent that shit like weeks ago.
Was it the album or was it the album or was it a single?
The album, the Coyote album.
Oh, maybe I did. I think I might have. Okay. No, I was talking about Shaq though.
Yeah, he's on there though. He has a feature on that album.
Well, coming up later on in the show, we'll be talking more about Shaquille O'Neal and don't do that, man. The Q Dogs, they get mad. Did you hear about what they did to Karl Malone? So back in the day, way back in the day, for all the YouTube content watchers, Karl Malone, when he would dunk, he would throw up the Q Dogs, Omega Psi Phi. That's their symbol, and they end up running down on them because we used to back in the 80s and 90s. We used to have Omega Psi Phi. They were big at the U of U. And so they pressed them. So if you watch early Karl Malone, he would do the Q Dog after slam dunking or making a play. But after that, you would never see him throw it up no more because they ran down on him. They were like, "Yo, you might be from Louisiana, but you ain't a Q Dog. You never
about that life. Whoa,
yeah, what you doing? Don't be doing that." Dre Rawka coming at you from cousin Tyrone's basement. I am able to move and shake now, so that's pretty cool.
Move, stretch, shake. Come on, move, stretch. That was Mace's Welcome Back album, not highly touted, but anyways, we'll wonder here in our champion King Gunther's guest room, still holding strong over here. You know, Randy Orton fan, but it is what it is,
dude. We'll be talking about that here shortly. And as much as I'm approaching the likable person of Gunther, I'm not fully on board. I am fully on board on Randy Orton right now, but we'll talk about that here in a moment. I did want to start off with something that we don't talk about often here on Figure 4, which is NXT.
Oh, now, okay. I'm gonna sit this one out. Go ahead.
Now, Wonder, we do have we'll be getting into maybe a Bash of Berlin next week preview, but I was so casually watching NXT. Why? Because I seen one match. Well, matter of fact, let me rewind. 2 weeks ago, they announced that Otis will be challenging Oba.
Oh, Oba Femi, nice.
Yeah. And so I was like, whoa, that's a whole lot of man meat. That's gonna be one to tune into. You know what I mean?
Wow.
No pause.
That's wild.
No pause. We are here.
That's a wild thing to say. Yep.
This is where we're at.
Okay.
So it started off with that match right there. And then this week, I see another preview, another ad for NXT. It was a triple threat match to see who will be fighting Ethan Page, who is the current NXT champion. For the men.
These clips. Yep.
And the triple threat was Wesley, Pete Dunne, and Joe Hendry. I seen, yeah, buddy, say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. Try to get the gunshots on cue, but it didn't work. So I see these three in a triple threat match. Three wrestlers that I'm somewhat invested in. I like Wesley. Obviously, I love Pete Dunne, and Joe Hendry is growing on me. You can't escape the fandom of Joe Hendry right now, right? Are you a believer or not? And I am a believer of Joe Hendry. So tuning into this match, I'm like, oh my gosh, these guys are throwing. They are going at it. And mind you, Pete Dunne just wrestled on Monday. He wrestled Sheamus. So I was like, holy moly, this dude is going in. And if you watch the match, which we'll cover later on in the show, with Sheamus and Pete Dunne, that was a banger.
Slobber knocker.
Yes, sir.
The fullest. Yes. So
from there, Joe Hendry ends up winning, beating Wesley and Pete Dunne. He will be taking on Ethan Page at No Mercy for the NXT Championship. Now, not only that, Mr. Will Wonder, I have also been following a young girl by the name of Jada Parker. Now, Jada Parker had she had a lot of words for Miss Roxanne Perez, who is the current NXT Women's Champion, after winning her match to qualify for that championship. If you haven't seen Jada Parker wrestle, she can go. She can go. Roxanne's the champion for a reason, but these women are doing something. I'm leading up to something here, Wonder. Stick with me.
Okay, I'm here.
As I mentioned earlier, Otis was mentioned on NXT. Well, Otis said he lost to Oba. He lost to Oba the first time. He said, yo, I want another shot. So he's still coming off after Oba Femi. So now I'm invested in three different characters. Well, more than three characters, but it's three different storylines right now just off of NXT alone. I'm invested off of that. And I'm just a casual. I'll catch it here and there. I don't go back and rewatch. If it's on, I'll catch it. I'll watch it. And then Lola Vice, friend of the show. Lola Vice. She shared us. She friend of the show. Lola Vice. She wrestled a young lady by the name of Wendy Chu. Now, Wendy Chu, she looked like she's at a slumber party. She dresses up like a slumber party, like scary character. Don't know much about her, but what I do know is that she can go. She can go. Now, in this match, the current North American champion, Kaylani, decided she wanted to try to help, and she ended up getting in the way, cost Lola the match. Now she's saying she wants to go after Chu. With all that being said, Wonder, can we just clap it up one time for Mr. Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid, for what he is doing at NXT?
I think I'm cute. Yeah,
I know I'm sexy. How conceited was he? I guess if you're the breadwinner of the show, I guess you can do whatever you want. I know the people backstage hated Shawn Michaels back in the day.
You know, this is a nod to the throwback match later, but Sensational Sherry was actually the first one to sing that, and then they changed it to Shawn's voice. I don't know what one was better or worse, but
hold on, Shawn voiced his own entrance music.
He's the one who sings it. Yeah, I think I'm cute.
Who's moaning?
Sensational Sherry.
She's moaning?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, now you do.
I forget you're old. You know all the old guy stuff.
I was 35 years old when that guy made his debut.
Yo, we're going to be saying that in the next 30 years. I remember a guy by the name of Joe Hendry. But yeah, with all that being said, man, I think NXT might become a weekly programmed show here in the Cousin Tyrone's basement.
Sheesh.
I'm really liking it.
I'll have to tap in with it a little bit. I mean, we watch so much wrestling.
Facts.
But I think I can squeeze in another show. How long is NXT now?
It's 2. I think it's about the same as SmackDown, about 2 hours. I think.
All right.
Pretty sure. But even then, like, hey, catch the highlights. You know.
Yeah.
If there's a match you see, maybe follow the match.
Yeah, I can hear Bad Boy Brian now. They don't even watch wrestling. See, shut up, Brian.
See, that's the difference between me and you, Wonder. I don't hear him at all. Ever.
It's just noise.
Yeah. Until he has me come DJ, then I'll listen to him.
Yeah.
Oh, where do you want to start, Wonder? What's tickling your fancy?
I don't know if it's so much as tickling as not tickling.
Mm.
I'm going to be real. I was kind of bored with SmackDown and Raw as total shows this week. There were things that I liked, I enjoyed, but the shows themselves, it just kind of felt like some holdover stuff, right? Even though we got Roman and we got Jacob back in a walking boot, which so is he hurt or not? Let's start there. Let's just start with Jacob. Do you think he's really hurt, or is that something to keep him out of Berlin because maybe he can't go to Berlin?
Well, I think if this is I mean, it has to be fake, right? Like he
Because
has to be
put
faking
the
this injury.
work on Roman. Like
He put in work.
yeah.
So I think that the boot is just there for aesthetic. I think he is okay. But like you said, where does this leave us? You know, we're starting to see this story come back. You put Roman through the table just like you did Cody, Randy, KO, Paul Heyman. Only thing we're missing is the enlightenment of Tonga Loa. Like that's the only thing that's messing this whole thing up. But we see the writing on the wall. The tribal chief right now, what I feel we're being told is the tribal chief can't do it alone. The tribal chief needs help. Who's gonna assemble and help him out? That's where it comes down to.
Do you think that?
But how good did he look though? Like,
looks great.
Roman just looks phenomenal, and I sound like a broken record because this is true. Like this dude just looks godly.
Yeah, he looks amazing. I want to know: are they more interested in setting up a Roman Jacob match down the line? Like what? Because I think coming up next, it's solo Roman. But when is that? It feels like Berlin's too close, right? So is it Bad Blood? Is that because I believe that's what's after Berlin?
Yeah. That's a
like,
long time to wait for a singles match, though.
Yeah, like what is it? What are we getting? Because all this has to lead to some Survivor Series thing, or maybe it doesn't. Maybe that's just my, in my mental booking of what has to happen here. I don't know, but yeah, similar to what you said, they put him through the table. We've seen that before. So does that? They haven't announced Roman for this SmackDown coming up this week. So does that put him on the shelf for a week or whatever? I don't know. I just don't know, man. And then, Raw, it was like,
well, hold on. Before we jump to Raw.
Sorry, I'm all over.
This is how our lives are right now, Wonder. SmackDown is all over the place, which leaves us to be all over the place. But going back to the Bloodline 2.0, we got these tag titles as well. So we got these tag titles. We finally find out that Street Profits are going to be the number one contenders. They're going to be going for the belt this Friday night. Is this an opportunity for us to see Jimmy? Does Jimmy come out and have something to say about these titles that he held for so long against a Bloodline that he was taken out on?
Yeah.
I have no idea, but what I do know is that Jacob, he can't focus on two things. I don't think so. I think if you're gonna go for Roman, Jacob, you got to drop your belts. I don't know if you can hold a belt and try to take on the real tribal chief, the original tribal chief.
And it almost doesn't make sense for him to do that. Like if he is in the tag title picture, it makes sense for what they're doing to have him run in, mess up Roman on a schmaz ending type of stuff. But yeah, I don't know where this goes. I do want to say I mean, SmackDown wasn't totally awful. I did really enjoy that Street Profits DIY match. I thought that was really good.
Oh yeah.
Street Profits always put on a great match. Same with DIY. It's just, I'm just kind of in this like middle ground of like, yes, we have to get to Bash at Berlin. We'll get to Raw, the matches that have changed a little with Punk and Drew. But it's like, I feel like nothing's going to happen that's big right now. Like there's nothing where I'm like, oh shit, can't wait to see that. I'm excited for the Randy Gunther match, but I mean, it's not like something I would say I have to watch when it happens. I could definitely check all of Bash at Berlin later that day or the next day, you know?
Yeah. That's kind of where we are right now, man. We've been waiting for Rhea. Rhea's back. Mommy's back. The Terror Twins are running amok. We got Roman back. I mean, there's some smaller people. No, I shouldn't say smaller, but there's some other people like Charlotte, Asuka that I'm excited to have back. We still don't know what's going on with Ricochet, but I think I'm like you, bro. I think this is kind of one of those, I don't want to say low moments, but there's no excitement right now.
Mm-hmm.
Even on Monday, even with getting the Wyatt 6, it's like,
God, I can't. You know what? I'm to the point with the Wyatt 6 storyline right now where it's like, I love horror films and I will watch all of them no matter what. When a new Halloween comes out, whatever iteration it is, I watch it. But we're getting into the like Rob Zombie Halloween 2 territory where I'm like, this sucks. This is boring.
yeah,
It's not making sense. I'm so let down right. I mean, it was just a huge lead up, and now we're just keep getting the same bullshit over and over.
I was surprised. I did not expect the Wyatt 6 to come out. I will say that. But when I seen it was Maxine and Nivea Isles, I was like, oh well, then yeah, I was like, well, it has to be Nikki Cross. Like, are we gonna finally see Nikki Cross get busy? And no, it was still Uncle Howdy going after Chad Gable.
Yeah,
like let Nikki. We haven't seen Nikki. Like, Nikki's done some things off the top rope, but we still haven't seen her without her mask. She hasn't got busy in the ring. Let her get busy.
Yeah, I just don't know where you go from here because it's such a watered down story to this point of them going after Gable, and it's not like a broken record, but it's like the same shit every week. I don't know. I don't know what we're doing with it. Like,
what if you're in that writing room and you're next to Paul, you're next to everybody else in there, what's wonders, how do you get us out of this?
This next week when it's Howdy against Gable, it's over. Like, that's the end. And then these guys need to move on to something else. And to me, it's like, have them go to both shows. Have them just have them terrorize everyone. Like, when they made their debut, it was great, right? That Wyatt 6 debut. And what did they do? They messed up a lot of people. They hurt a lot of people. Yeah, we saw Gable there, but we saw a ton of other people too. Like, there was no rhyme or reason. They just showed up and wrecked shit. And now it's just, I don't know. I think you need to get back to that if you want some real heat. Like, if somehow the fans are still supporting them, like with excitement when they see them. But I think you do this like a couple more weeks and it's just like, we slowly just killed like a super hot faction that had a ton of heat coming in because we keep doing the same shit.
Yeah, we have what, 4, maybe just under 5 months away from Netflix. So do we maybe reintroduce them around that time? Do we wait that long?
I don't think you can take them away. I think if you take them away at this point, you might as well bring them back as not the Wyatt 6. They just need, I don't know. It can be as simple as I mean, that's the other thing too. You don't really see them like backstage, which makes sense. You want to keep some level of like fear and mythical, horror or whatever you want to call it. But they need to get into something with someone else. I don't know what else to.
The only thing that made sense to me, and I said this before we actually got where they were targeting, would be LA Knight, right? Like, like that's, and maybe that's what they do. Maybe they do jump across and head on over to SmackDown and terrorize LA Knight. He has the US title.
Keeping him. They just made him like such a babyface faction. Like, you can have.
That's true.
You can have factions or wrestlers that toe the line that like fans can decide if they like, right? Because when Roman was super heel Romans, fans still liked him, right?
Yeah.
And with these guys, it's just like they're just babies.
Yeah.
And you automatically kill their heat. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know. I don't think I've been this let down in a storyline slash, reintroduction or introduction of a team like ever that I can remember in wrestling.
Well, I guess more to come on that. I hope that whatever the next thing for the Wyatt Six is, hopefully they knock our socks off. Like, we need another cinematic, like, cool thing to happen. The jump scare, they are putting a little bit too long of applause at the end. Like it.
Yeah. I don't know, because and then they put so much into them. They were showing up at the Pat McAfee show. They were doing all of this. They had the whole rollout of all these videos and QR codes and all the shit, the links, and even the videos, the VHS stuff. It's just kind of like, ugh. I've seen, again, it's like Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, where I was in the theater legitimately pissed.
Hold on, was Rob Zombie the one where he has to stay in the square?
No.
Intro? Which one was that?
That's Halloween. They just call it Halloween. That was 2018.
I like that one. I think that was my latest favorite one.
I really enjoyed that one too. But then they went and fucked that up too with the sequels after that. But no, if anyone hasn't seen Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, don't do it. But like 75% of the film is Michael Myers walking around like a transient with no mask and a beard, and you're like, what? Yeah. What?
You weren't on Rob Zombie's level, Wonder. You just didn't understand.
Sure. Yeah. That's what it was.
Your boy Ludwig
Kaiser
got his ass whooped, got a lesson taught. I don't know why he thought he would want to jump in and try to jump Randy Orton last night or Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on, my guy. Where are you at with this Randy Gunther story?
I love it because they planted the seed at King of the Ring. So it makes sense as to why they're actually going at it. I love the back and forth, the shit talk. I talked about Randy, similar to a couple of other older wrestlers, Sheamus, for example. It may not be his best work, but he just looks like he's having fun, and it's way up there in what I appreciate in their history of work. So I'm all in, and I like Gunther a lot. So this is what I'm most excited about at Bash at Berlin. With that said, I probably don't need to watch it live. I will.
Yeah.
But
is it a weird time? Is it like 10 a.m.?
10 a.m. our time is when it starts. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's perfect. Yeah.
I love those. Yeah. You got the rest of your Saturday.
I did like Gunther all black. All black Gunther looks good with that title, with the gold.
Yeah.
Look nice.
Yeah. And his shit talking is getting better and better, right? He's getting better on the mic. Randy's great on the mic, obviously. So, yeah.
People are still learning his song. People don't know Randy's full song just yet.
I mean, like, it, and then it's kind of like, it's like back in the day, like, who was it? Creed. You could pretty much sing any Creed song if you just made the note.
And so Ludwig, I don't know why Mr.
Kaiser.
I don't know why Mr. Kaiser thought he would go in the ring with Randy. He ends up getting taught a lesson. Although he put up a good fight, some of them chops kind of look good.
Yeah, Ludwig can go, man. He's a good wrestler. Just fun. He's little.
Yeah, that was a fun match. Nothing really there. I don't want to sound like a broken record with Gunther and Randy. Something on my notes I did right is Judgment Day jumps the Terror Twins. But as we know, Damian Priest put his hands on Dom, Carlito, JD, and Finn. He laid them all out. Real New York.
Can we get a different name? Terror Twins? I don't know, man.
It's a little childish, huh? Like, it's a little child's play. A little Chucky.
Like Brothers of Destruction made sense with Kane and Undertaker, but like Terror Twins, it's kind of like, man, I don't know if we. I don't know. I'm like 60% in on it.
Yeah, I think out of all the names, right? We just got American Made. We got what's Shayna Baszler? What's their group faction called?
Oh, I don't know. I need to go back to. It's the worst name ever.
Prism faction.
It's like 8 words.
Yeah, the sociologists of and then you got the Terror Twins. Right now, it's as much as it sucks to say, American Made is probably the best decision that they made as far as names go. Just right now.
The Pure Fusion Collective. What?
Garbage.
What the hell is that?
Throw it away. Yeah, Terra Twins is trash. But I love them. Like,
I love them too.
I'm
all in on them. Can we just give them their name? Like just
what would
their
it be?
Names.
Come on, let's
just just their names.
Oh, okay. Rhea and
Damien. Like Ripley and Priest. I don't know.
Oh, that's not bad.
The Terror Twins.
Are they gonna have like because we get the intergender match here soon?
Yeah.
Are they gonna have their own like official theme song, or is Damien has to come out second, right?
Yeah. Well, no.
Rhea comes out first?
No, Rhea comes out second.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she would come. I would think she'd have to come out second.
All Rise, yeah, and then Damien, and then Rhea. This is my brutality. Rhea
Bloody Ripley. That again, another one. Just what are we doing, WWE? Just trying to make shirts? Jesus Christ.
I bet you they're killing it on merch. You see what happened at Fanatics? The Fanatics weekend, I felt like I was missing out.
Man, if you're a fan of any sport, I don't know how much that stuff costs, but everything I saw, I was like, this is crazy.
I did like, it felt like, and maybe it's just my algorithm because I watch a lot of wrestling on my algorithm, but it felt like wrestling took over the whole festival.
It did seem very big. They had all their biggest stars, where some of the other stuff, like obviously there was like Kevin Durant was there. There was a few others NBA wise, but you think about something like that and how big of a fan base WWE has and how much they're willing to go to things like that. Like for an NBA fan, that's relatively a new thing. WWE goes out to, when it was here last at the Cricket store, LA Knight was there. I remember taking my son to school. 45 minutes before it opened, the line was down the street to meet LA Knight. So like WWE fans, wrestling fans in general, just come out for stuff like that. So it made sense for WWE to take it over. And they have a lot of stars, I don't remember what I was listening to, but they were like, UFC was there, but it's like, who's UFC's star? Like who's a person that you're going to just be like, oh, doesn't matter. I'm watching that person's fight, when you're not all the way in on UFC or MMA, right? Like for me, there isn't one anymore.
Bro,
like this is like a casual, right? A casual fan of UFC. There isn't one where I'm like, I have to watch that. There just isn't.
This is the big problem with UFC right now, is that they don't have that athlete. The biggest star in the UFC right now is Dana White. And when you have your biggest star be
smacking his wife and shit.
Yeah. When you have that be your biggest guy, it's like, what are we doing here? And you can't say the same thing with WWE. You got Roman. There's people out there that know Cody Rhodes just because of what he's been doing. He's been out and about, and
everywhere.
You're seeing this. One thing about this new Triple H era is that he made it known that, hey, we're going to be out more. We're going to do more television. We're going to do more movies. We're going to make more appearances. And now you're seeing it all over the place. They're doing Family Feud. They're doing the internet shows like Hot Ones. Cody just started his podcast. All these guys and athletes, they are out.
Yeah.
Side
note, that Cody Randy, the Cody podcast with Randy was really good. If you have time to listen to that, that was.
So what did we talk about?
Is it Mike Tyson hosting or what?
That's Cody. Cody's little list. So what do you want to talk about? You never noticed?
No, that's no. Hey, what you just did, that's Mike Tyson.
No, Cody has a list just like Mike Tyson.
He has a slight lisp, but you gave it the high pitched. No.
So what do you guys want to talk about? I did watch a little bit of it. I found out that Randy Orton has 6 Yes, you heard it. 6 fusions in his back.
Yeah, that's why it's so impressive what he's doing. Like, I guess when he came back, I had also watched another interview with him where they said they didn't have to go through the muscle somehow. I don't know how that works, but if they would have had to cut through the muscle, that basically means his career's over. But they were able to do it without doing that, which
well, he's a multimillionaire too, and he's already in freakishly good shape. So
yeah,
there you go.
there it is.
But yeah, that Fanatics Fest, I thought it was very wrestling forward, eccentric, even down to like Rey Mysterio introducing Travis Scott, and you got Tom Brady, the GOAT, coming out to I forget who
Hogan.
he came out.
Hulk Hogan.
Was it Hogan?
Yeah.
I mean that sounds about right. Sounds Trump. Yeah, all those guys are Trumpers. I thought it was really dope. I thought it was dope seeing Rhea Ripley. I forget which panel she was on. Was it a Rosenberg panel? I forget which one it was.
No, it wasn't, but
bracelets.
I did. Yeah, that was very cool. It wasn't Rosenberg. He had Jay and
Jay
I don't remember.
Oh.
No, Jay Uso.
Yeet. So yeah, I love to see that in Rhea, man. We've already known this. Rhea's a star, man. The next 2 years are gonna be fun seeing this chick grow. As long as she can stay healthy, she has the star power. She's man. She was about to riptide Dom through the table. I'm really excited to see that happen.
Yeah,
it's happening.
It's going to happen. Yes,
That's gonna be fun. McIntyre and your boy CM Punk.
Strap match. That's I think Punk's best match, if I remember correctly. Was it a strap or was it like dog collar? Fuck, I don't know. In AEW. So it's a good prop to have. Not a lot of movement, right? Like you're tied together. Get to use that, hit each other with it. I mean, we'll get into our preview next week of in Bash in Berlin, but I mean, it's fine. I do feel like this storyline needs to come to a close soon, and both should move on to something else. Have stepping out of our kayfabe pledge, is Seth Rollins was there some type of injury or he had to have something is that why they did the thing with Bronson Reed, to get him off of TV for a little bit?
I don't know. I mean, he just got back, so
that's the thing. Yeah,
I'm not sure if they announced anything.
Okay.
Honest, I haven't seen nothing. To be honest with you, I haven't looked either. I totally forgot. Oh man, that's bad. I forgot about that.
Because I thought remember when it happened, I thought that's where it was going. Like Reed inserting himself into that, but now he took down the Miz, and we'll fast forward through this. He took down the Miz, and then it looks like him and Braun Strowman are next, which is exciting because that's
even more man meat.
Yeah, it's a lot. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, I was wondering about Seth because it feels like Punk should have moved on to that, but I don't know. I don't know where that stands now.
Yeah, what do you do with Seth now? If it's not Bronson Reed, he's not. I don't see him and Braun Strowman having any issues. And does he go back to McIntyre's Punk after Berlin?
Yeah, I don't know. That'd be cool if he just interrupts and whoops Punk with the
belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And anyways, that storyline, it is what it is. The match will be fun. People will get hit. There will be loud slaps. There will be blood, probably maybe a little bit of color. I don't know. Can't really avoid it when you're getting hit with one of those things after a while.
Hell no.
But I don't know. It's fine. Again, I'm just kind of in this middle, it's fine.
Hey, wonder now that we're in this kind of maybe we do tag teams. Maybe we talked about tag team content. Maybe we could next week or we got Bash of Berlin, but maybe one of these weeks we talk about history of
ranking.
tag teams. Yeah.
Maybe we could do a draft.
Ooh.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Figure that out. Sheamus and Pete Dunne got busy.
Yeah.
A banger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that, man. Sheamus is just continuing to show up. And, you put him with guys like Pete Dunne or whomever, Bronson Reed or, Dragunov, these guys. These matches are fun. And I hope this in some way, even if it's like a minor pay-per-view or PLE, sorry. I hope it leads to him getting a shot at Gunther, because those matches are fun too. I don't know if that's what happens, but Gunther beats Randy. Who's next for Gunther? I'd love it for it to be Sheamus and them just beat the shit out of each other. One of the best matches I've ever seen live was Drew, Gunther, and Sheamus. So,
yeah, man, that was a fun time.
Mm-hmm.
That was a fun time with those three. I mean, they all can go, right? And
and they hit the shit out of each other. Like, it all looks like it hurts.
There was a moment with Pete Dunne. It was when he had him up on the ropes. He was doing the 10 10 beats of a whatever.
Shillelagh. No.
So he was hitting them with it, and there was a point where Pete Dunne looked at him like, dog, chill. But Pete Dunne's one tough son of a bitch, as my man Pat McAfee could say. Speaking of Pat McAfee, we said goodbye to Pat.
Yeah, it's time for game day for him. And I think it's a little bit too much to have his show, to have College Game Day, and then also do WWE. So it makes sense. He'll be back. I mean, I think he did this last year too. So
I don't remember him leaving. Did he leave? He had to have, right?
Yeah.
But the cool thing about his show, about the Pat McAfee show, is that they did feed in WWE through his show as well.
It was huge audience there. Just added to it. The WWE has been so smart with who they've brought in from a social aspect. So social media, or like with Paul, with Pat McAfee, who has just huge followings and a lot of people that watch their shows. They've been really smart with it.
So who do you bring in? Do you rotate guys with Michael Cole? Does Miz come back, or like who do you have sitting next to Michael Cole?
I don't know who you would bring in. It'd be cool to have somebody new, or you just give some other people a shot, bring in a couple of folks. But ultimately that's going to be Pat's seat when he comes back. So,
and they said January. So as soon as we go back to Netflix, or once we go to Netflix, day one, as they call it, we'll have Pat McAfee back, which, man, they did the little the highlight of Pat McAfee. He really elevated commentary.
Mm-hmm.
And I really enjoyed hearing him commentate the one big son of a bitch, or, it's fight night, baby. Like, these are really cool moments. The yeet, him getting into the yeet, he just does a really good job.
Yeah, I mean, he's just like outside of him being a former NFL kicker, like, he's just like that, like a normal dude that, like, a lot of us know, or some of us are, I guess, not me, but we all have friends like that, to where you can sit down and talk sports and they're really knowledgeable, but they have a great time. Yeah. So, he does a good job. He really made a great transition into media. It's really cool.
Salute Pat McAfee. What else do we have? Are we done with Raw? I mean, Jimmy, he cut a promo. He said, "Hey, I'm coming for you, Braun Breaker." Jimmy said he inserted him into this tournament that's going to be going on to see who will be the number one contender to go against Braun Breaker. So that's exciting to see. Yeet.
That'll be fun. Do you think he gets that belt?
No,
me either.
No, no, I still think we have Jay has to help the tribal chief some way, somehow.
Yeah.
And as long as they're drawing this out, I think Jay has time. I think they have time to spread him out. I don't know how they get him over to SmackDown. Maybe it's a trade. I don't know what it is. But I do see the OTC reaching out, or Jimmy, some way. Jay's gonna have to be back into a part of that story, hopefully before Survivor Series. And I don't see him doing that with gold around his waist.
Yeah, maybe the wise man comes back and facilitates a trade.
Ooh, yeah,
because that's like kind of his thing.
Now, I did have a hot take. I did have a hot take about this Braun Breaker situation. Where's Ilya Dragunov? We still haven't found out what's going on with my man Ricochet. This tournament's happening. Is there some way Dragunov gets back into the tournament? Is there some way maybe my man Ricochet comes out? Hey, yo, I'm good. You threw me through a
windshield.
Yeah. Last time I seen you threw me through a windshield, I'm back. I'm coming after your gold. I don't know.
Maybe, but well, yeah, maybe. I don't know, man. I feel like I haven't read anything, but I feel like your boy Ricochet is, for the time being, done with WWE. And I'm sorry, Dre. I'm sorry. Dragunov, I can totally see that for sure.
Well, yeah, we haven't seen Dragunov. If anybody, I think Dragunov and Braun Breaker would be just a fun storyline again to see that happen. Braun Breaker gets better week after week, and but I don't see anybody taking that belt off him anytime soon.
Yeah. Well, I think I said this last week. I would love to see an eventual Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker feud. I think that would be fun, just because Bronson Reed is so big, and especially if he takes out Strowman, I mean, then it's kind of like, yeah, he got Seth sneakily, right? He got Miz, he got R-Truth, and he got Braun Strowman. So it's like, yeah, he's not to be messed with. I would love a Bronson Reed feud for that IC strap.
I do want to see Braun Strowman hit the tsunami on Bronson Reed, though.
That's one of those where you feel like the ring should break, like, and the ref.
Do we see Brock Lesnar come back?
I think Brock. I don't know, man. I think everything that Brock was involved with Vince.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
You think he's done? Because Triple H already let it be known, yo, if you want to come back, come on back. And we all know that, I mean, if that music hits, he's there. Like, the crowd's going to react.
Oh, they're going to lose their minds.
There won't be any backlash.
Yeah.
He'll be able to keep on doing what he does, and that includes going to get a belt.
Yeah.
Has Brock held that Intercontinental Championship? I don't think so.
I don't think so. You know who else hasn't held it?
Cena.
Yeah. Let's get that in there too. Interested to see who Cena feuds with these next couple of months. Stepping outside of our kayfabe pledge, I did read that he signed on longer on a contract, but it may be a Legends deal rather than. But I don't know. I just read that the other day. I'm like, wait, what? Damn, I was going somewhere with Braun Breaker. Doesn't even matter anymore. Oh, no, returns. We were talking about Brock Lesnar possibly returning. The return that I want to see at Fanatics Fest, it seemed like someone was CM Punk was poking the bear of Stone Cold Steve Austin. It seems like Stone Cold was on an interview not too long ago saying the same thing about Punk. And who knows what the real thing was, but Austin said, hey, it's kind of hard to get me out of Nevada. That's why I didn't show up to WrestleMania 40. Well, we know where WrestleMania 41 is in Las Vegas. Would love Stone Cold Punk. Probably too late. I don't know who holds that matchup, because if Punk is the main worker, it's kind of like, you know. But for nostalgia factor, every time you hear that glass break, bro, this dude, Stone Cold, could be 85 years old, and I could be in my, what is he? I think he's like 30 years older than me, something like that. I could be in my 50s. Doesn't matter. I hear that glass break. I'm fucking pushing. I'm going to punch my son in his side.
I'm crashing beers.
Yeah.
I'm doing it all. I'm going in the front room.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about that, but, we'll just leave all that to speculation.
Well, I mean, we're not too far away from April, so
yeah, crazy.
We'll see what happens. Do you want to take us through Wrestler of the Week?
Yeah.
Who you got?
He's already gotten it once from me this year so far, and I'm going to give it to him again, and that's my guy Sheamus. Another great match with Pete Dunne, and it's like I said it before, he might be having the best matches of his career. And that's saying a lot because he's been around a long time. He was a champion. But I'm going to give it to Sheamus again. Close second was Montez Ford. But I'm going to go with Sheamus.
Montez Ford is showing up. I really like I like Street Profits now. Now that they got rid of that other guy. But
he's going to box, which is wild.
So was that the announcement?
I think that's what it is. He's gonna I don't know who or when or what, but that's what he's gonna do. Bobby Lashley, for those who are like, who the hell are they talking about?
He has an MMA fight underneath his career. I think he has 2 fights underneath his career.
I think he did have a few. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. That's a whole lot of man meat.
Jeez.
The name of this episode.
Is that what this episode's called?
A whole
And then
lot
just
of
put
man
that
meat.
in quotes and put Dre.
For me, man, it's a guy that faced your wrestler of the week, Pete Dunne.
There you go.
I think Pete Dunne is he continues to show up. He continues to break fingers. He had back-to-back nights. Now, obviously, he caught L's both nights, but he showed up. He didn't lose no win in NXT or at Raw. I think he's just somebody that is dependable. You see, I mean, similar to Sheamus. Like, that's why I wish that the Brawling Brutes wouldn't have broke up, because I had a lot of fun seeing the Brawling Brutes together.
Oh, yeah.
You know? But yeah, I'll go Pete Dunne.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't call him Butch. You'll get shillelagh. Throwback match.
Yes, Dre, I sent you this. You didn't watch it. It's okay. I'm just going to let people know what it was and give them some of my thoughts on this. But I still want you to watch it, Dre. Okay?
Absolutely.
Promise. Throwback match, July 17th, 1994, from Orlando, Florida. It was the inaugural WCW Bash at the Beach. I was never a big WCW guy. I flirted with them NWO times, saw a lot of great wrestlers at that time, but I definitely did not watch during this time. This is Hulk Hogan's first match in WCW against Ric Flair, main event for at Bash at the Beach, which is wild that obviously it's Hulk Hogan, but he just shows up, bam, main event, Ric Flair, let's go. Right? Like, would that happen anywhere else to where he hasn't even, there's been no wrestling?
No,
I don't think
that's
so.
insane.
At least in that,
especially against Rick, like for it to be Rick, come on now, like that's crazy.
Huge. I mean, that's what fans, wanted to see. That's what should have happened at WrestleMania 7, 8. Fuck, I can't remember. But instead we got Flair against Macho Man and then Hogan against Psycho Sid, right? That was the time to have that match. But you get it here, Bash at the Beach. You got Bobby Heenan, Tony Schiavone on the call. The very first person you see walk down the entrance is Nick Bockwinkel, who, like, AWA legend. I remember I had a bunch of AWA VHS tapes that my brother had when he was a kid. So, like, Slaughter, a whole bunch of guys, but Bockwinkel was always on there. Dude wrestled for like 35 years.
Dang. But
at this time, he was like the GM of WCW, I guess. And then going back to what we talked about earlier, Shaq Diesel, 1994, Orlando Magic Shaq. He's there because this is in Orlando. Flair comes out with Sensational Sherry. Like, we've already talked about her once this episode. Let me tell you something about Sensational Sherry. Okay, as a kid, you didn't realize this. She was a smoke show. Okay, they just always had her with messed up, weird paint, and you're just kind of like, what is that all about? Smoke show, Sherry, and apparently like a great human being, from what I understand from hearing interviews. Then you get Hogan, and the weirdest thing about Hogan, there's a couple of weird things here. Number one, you can tell he's off the steroids. This is for sure the smallest you'll ever see Hulk Hogan, and it's kind of a trip. I also forgot that his theme wasn't Real American in WCW at when he came as regular Hulk Hogan. It was some other bullshit that sucked. It was very bad, but it was about being American. I don't know. Hulk Hogan is accompanied by Mr. T and Jimmy Hart, Mouth of the South. The match isn't anything to like write home about. It's a fine match, right? I won't give up the ending. I mean, I'm sure people know, but I would go back and watch it just for history's sake. Because at that time, Hulk Hogan to join WCW, WWF was going into what they called a youth movement. So a lot of younger guys. Bret Hart was the man at the time. Shawn Michaels was up and coming. So Hulk Hogan dipped shortly after. Macho Man Randy Savage was out of there. But I just remember Hogan going to WCW and me thinking like, probably never see that guy again, because I didn't watch WCW. And then obviously the NWO, which I believe was at Bash at the Beach 2 years later, when Hogan is pretty much like, yeah, I'm the third member.
Dude, the story on that is insane too.
That's
Eric Bischoff.
Yeah, that's the ultimate. Like, Hogan was getting so stale was the problem, right? So you had to do some type of turn. Apparently, originally it was supposed to be Sting, and then I mean, wrestling fans know this. But then for Hogan to be like, yeah, I'd like to, but I'll do it. You know, let me do it. And I'm sure it was more like, hey, no, I'm doing it. It wasn't let me, because, you know, I guess that's how Hogan was. But yeah, it's just a very interesting time. Hogan's such a baby face, and like it's probably in WCW you get that for like a year and a half, and then or 2 years rather, then you get NWO Hogan. But it's just kind of funny to watch it because it was a very specific moment in time. Flair's still so good at this time. I mean, Flair was good for another 20 years after this. But yeah, Bash of the Beach, 1994. Check it out.
I'm gonna check it out. Maybe one of these throwbacks I'll do a Rodman Malone. So UFC lovers, you guys know that Dricus du Plessis, he holds the middleweight title. He just defended it against Adesanya. And every time the commentators, they would call him DDP, Dricus du Plessis, and I was like, no, stop calling him. Yeah, no, that's a no.
DDP's gonna sue because he sued Jay-Z for this. Like he will sue your ass.
That's right, he did. I forgot about that.
I love DDP though.
Yeah, DDP, he's one of my favorites. Growing up, man, it was just like Diamond Dallas Page, the real diamond cutter, like the real joint, you know. But there's so many variations of it now. That's pretty dope. Cool, man. I think that's a wrap on today's episode. Figure Four Podcast. I'm Dre Rawka.
I'm Will Wonder. I gotta say some shit though, real quick.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I went on your podcast. Shout out to you. Unrestricted. Yeah, you've done this before, right? Unrestricted podcast with yourself and our friend DJ Bangerang. I went and finally saw our guy Angel at How Did It Get So Good? Let him know the talk will no longer be accepted, and if he wants to see us in the ring, we can make that happen. But check out both of those.
My favorite part though was when he was like, "You talk about your back hurts." He's like, "Dude, I work out every day. What do you do?"
Yeah, he's like, "Yeah, exactly." Look at girls across the street. When again, that's the episode. You just have to watch to see what I'm talking about. Cool. How Did It Get So Good? Also, Dre, thank you for having me on yours. Next week, I'll shout this out again because we'll have our next episode before that. The Will Wonder Show premieres August 29th. March 15th, media on Instagram, The Will Wonder Show on Instagram, DJ Will Wonder on Twitter. Bang!
Bang! Banger after banger. Go follow Will Wonder March 15th media on Instagram as well. If you want to follow me at Dre Rawka, DRERAWKA. I just dropped, obviously, the episode with Will Wonder, and I had another one with Manny Lemons, who actually just wrestled in GCW, Game Changer Wrestling. He didn't get the strap, but he did pack out the arena, the venue, and Game Changer is excited for Utah Wrestling and will be back, which is a huge thing for Utah Wrestling. So be on the lookout for more from them. Check out DCW, Devotion Championship Wrestling, here locally in Utah as well. Talk to Manny, talk to Wonder, and we're going to be having him and some other wrestlers filtered through the Figure 4 podcast, get to know our own community here in Utah, and wrestlers all over the world. We'll bring you more content with them as well. Figure the number 4 podcast on Instagram. Check us out. Wonder, I am officially gonna start our YouTube here soon.
It's fine whenever you want to.
Cool. Anything else? We good?
Good.
All right.
Good. Peace up. Bye.
Man meat.